shooting on the Strip. In Vegas, investigators are looking for gunmen who killed 3 people, shutting down a portion of the legendary attraction. Sentence set, Drew Peterson will spend nearly 4 decades behind bars for the murder of his 3rd wife. We have details from court. Plus, high marks. Alachua County students are in the top echelon for advanced placement success. 10 minutes of non-stop news starts now.
You're watching WCJB TV20 News Morning Edition with Corey Lovett and meteorologist Mike Potter.
Welcome back to the final half hour of TV20's Morning Edition. It is 6:30 on this Friday, February 22nd. I'm Corey Levitt.
I'm Mike Potter. Happy Friday, everybody. We have made it to the end of the week.
Sigh of relief, collectively.
Just get out, crank up the car, get to work, and no time flat will be Friday evening, heading into the weekend. Soaring into a weekend, and not exactly smooth in the weather department. Maybe not. I mean, there'll be some wrinkles here and there, but there'll also be times where it'll be decent weather outside, too. Nice. A lot of sports going on around the area, and have weekend activities. A gymnastics team, which is red hot right now. They're at the O'Connell Center tonight at 7. And the baseball team, lacrosse, et cetera, et cetera. Well, we'll tell you more about that coming on down the road. This morning, though, it's a milder start. We're in the 50s. There have been some clouds overhead. A few patches of fog have been trying to develop. The showers have been offshore in the Atlantic, moving away from land. Starting out at 54 at Gainesville, but 63 at Ocala, with kind of an upper 50s, low 60s temperature pattern for the area. Much warmer than yesterday morning. This afternoon is going to be a few degrees warmer than yesterday when we got to about 79, 80 in some spots. Today, we're in the low, in some cases, mid-80s for the high inland today. Okay. Hard to complain too much. Just leave your jacket at home. You don't need it. Don't need it today. Right. Here's Bob Albert with an update on your roadways. Here he is. Good morning.
Good morning, Corey. Hi, Mike. We are seeing some delays for the drive. I-75 starting to build up around Ocala. State Road 200 busy as travel in town eastbound 17th. And we're also seeing delays on State Road 40, Silver Springs Boulevard around the square and Pine Avenue. Out of town on Pine, 441 traveling to Gainesville this morning. You can expect delays northbound, busy around 301 split, but accident-free along the way so far. This is Service for Stephen A. Begg Associates. I'm Bob Albert, and that's your WCJB TV20 traffic report.
Thanks, Bob. New this morning, the latest on the massive winter storm spanning 20 states, with some 60 million residents in its path. Yesterday, the storm caused whiteout conditions, shutting down highways and businesses. ABC's Tamon Bradley has more on what the conditions will be like heading into the weekend.
This morning, much of the nation's heartland is buried in snow. Overnight, the massive blizzard marched toward Chicago. The Great Lakes and northern Midwest are bracing for almost a foot of snow. The monster storm has already socked the heartland. Parts of Kansas and Missouri were struck by thunder snow. So instead of pouring rain, it was pouring snow. The conditions make driving treacherous.
It's a mess out here. I mean, it's really a mess out here.
From Kansas to Missouri, highways were shut down.
Just got out of control, lost control due to the weather condition. And
scary?
It's scary, yes it is.
Across the Midwest, crews are working to clear abandoned vehicles after many got stuck in the snow. Even mighty postal trucks had a hard time.
The last one that was coming here got stuck 6 times before it finally got here. We've gone to extraordinary measures.
The heavy snow made visibility difficult at a number of airports, including this one in Omaha, Nebraska, where workers raced to clear runways. At yesterday's peak, snow fell up to 3 inches per hour in some places. Look at this time lapse. Watch how quickly snow in Arkansas adds up. Some in the Midwest welcomed the damp conditions. Drought-plagued farmers called the snow a blessing.
This will get our spring crops growing, our oats and our alfalfa and our spring pastures.
The storm is expected to weaken today, but forecasters say it will redevelop off the East Coast, bringing heavy rain and more snow this weekend. Tamon Bradley, ABC News.
At 6:35, police in Las Vegas are vowing to find the suspects of a shooting that shut down part of the famous Strip. They believe an argument may have been what led to the deadly car shootings and fiery crash yesterday. 3 people were killed and several were injured. Police say people in a black Range Rover opened fire on a Maserati, hitting the driver, who then took off and crashed into a cab. The taxi's driver and passenger died after that vehicle burst into flames. The Maserati's driver also died. Police say the Range Rover then sped away from the scene.
Clearly, the suspects in this shooting have no regard for the lives and safety of others.
Police say the suspects in the Range Rover are believed to be armed and dangerous. They're hoping surveillance video will help them get a better look at the suspects. Former suburban Chicago police officer Drew Peterson, who became nationally known after his much younger fourth wife vanished in 2007, has been sentenced to 38 years for murdering his third wife. The 59-year-old had faced a maximum of 60 years prison term. Jurors convicted Peterson in September in Kathleen Savio's 2004 death. Neighbors found the 40-year-old's body in a dry bathtub at home with a gash on her head. Peterson is also a suspect in the disappearance of Stacy Peterson, who was 23 years old when she vanished. He has not been charged in her case. It was her disappearance that led authorities to take another look at Savio's death and eventually reclassify it from an accident to a homicide. Peterson shocked the courtroom during his sentencing hearing by shouting, "I did not kill Kathleen."
And he was able to blow off steam. He's got a lot of anger over the years, as he said, and told everybody how he felt. And I think that people could see what he was coming from and how he felt about what happened to him.
Peterson's attorneys say they are ready and working on an appeal. In other news, a month into his second term, President Obama has the majority of the country's support. According to CNN poll of polls, 52% approve of how he's handling the job as president, 43% do disapprove. The poll is an average of 4 national surveys of the president's approval rating conducted in the past 8 days. Back here at home, a Bellevue man is facing burglary charges after authorities say he took scrap metal from a recycling center. The Marion County Sheriff's Office says 28-year-old Brian Osidick sold specific items taken from the county's Canal Recycling Center on 110th Street in Ocala. Detectives learned of the burglary through a tip. Osidick faces several other charges, including giving out false information. His bond has been set at $30,000. The Sunshine State ranks 4th in the nation in the percentage of its students who took advanced placement exams and passed them. The College Board released its 9th annual report, which found Florida rose 2 spots from last year. In Alachua County, the ratio of students taking the tests and passing them was second highest in Florida. David Shellnut, Gainesville High School principal, says the key is providing students who have the potential to pass the tests a chance to take them.
But we really start with our teachers and our guidance counselors of trying to encourage by both speaking with the students and their parents or guardians to say, hey, next year you may have done extremely well in World History Honors. Why don't you think about taking AP European History?
Students can receive a score from 1 to 5, and a 3 is considered a passing score. Taking an AP test is the equivalent to taking a college-level course.